of Indian startup culture mindset is frugality.
Yeah.
So, frugal mindset. We don't have money, and then so that's why we want to think everything frugal.
Town hall for the 200 startups is a really lovely thing because it means that, first of all, irrespective of their size, scale, of their journey, of their age, they all come together because of their bonding with Crescent.
Welcome to Culture Café, a vibrant and inspiring podcast series brought to you by the Confederation of Indian Industry and Avtar, celebrating 25 years of shaping inclusive workplaces. In this milestone year, we bring you transformative conversations with leaders who are redefining workplace cultures. From boardroom wins to human movements that changed everything. These conversations are your backstage pass to how organizations thrive one connection at a time. In this episode, Dr. M. Parvez Alam, Executive Director, Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council, CIIC and AIC-CIIC.
Warm welcome to this episode of Culture Café, and I have the absolute pleasure of having with me Dr. Parvez Alam, Executive Director at Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council and the AIC-CIIC Chennai. Dr. Parvez is the immediate past president of the Project Management Institute Chennai chapter, and he is also serving as the mentor for the regional council. He is also a member of the Academic Council at Anna University, Chennai. And under his leadership, CIIC, which is a non-profit technology startup incubator, has incubated more than 200 plus startups, helping them raise over 330 crores in funding, generating almost 2,000 plus jobs. It's wonderful to have you with us, Dr. Parvez, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation to actually listen to you when you describe what culture does in the context of startups, of incubators, and anything to do with innovation. So here goes. Let me begin by asking you, Dr. Parvez, about your professional journey. I mean, how do you like being the person at whose desk every day hundreds of applications come for startup ideas?
Yeah. So first of all, it's very privileged to interact with you, Dr. Saundarya. And
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Avtar and CII, for inviting me for this Culture Cafe. I just grew up in a corporate culture. So basically, like I was former CEO of Avtar Group, where I brought up with corporate cultures and values. I was part of a listed company. So we do have very formal discipline of governance and compliance and so on. So for me, coming into an academic environment, I would say I'm not into fully academic, but we are creating more corporates inside the academic campus. But when I came to academic campus at first, 7 years ago, it was a cultural shock, actually. The difference about how we respect values. And I'm not, discounting that academic doesn't have values, but they have a different values and ethos than what corporates used to have. But it was challenging for me. But later, I used to build a corporate culture inside the academic campus. And we're very glad to say we have created 200 plus companies in this journey. So I used to work in one corporate. Now I used to work in 200 corporates. So that's how I see difference.
Yeah. Beautifully said. And I really like the vulnerability and humility with which you spoke about the fact that this was almost like a culture shock to you. And, being at the helm of things, being the leader at CIIC, your influence on these 200 corporates that you spoke about is really quite profound. I wanted to ask you, can you share a story where a founder's leadership style, and since you interact with 200 plus founders, Have you ever seen a leadership style of a founder really shape the entire company's culture?
Yeah. So one of the thing, the advantage of Indian startup culture mindset, frugality.
Yeah,
So, frugal mindset, right?
absolutely. Yes.
We don't have money, and then so that's why we want to think everything frugal, right? That's how DNA of Indian communities. We can respectfully say we have a Marwadi community, we have a Chettiar community where
Correct.
we have
Yes.
we have inherited a culture of doing things at less cost, right? That frugal mindset, and then that has developed into way of frugal innovation. Like when we do the innovation, also we don't spend with a big budget.
Mm.
So the example I want to pick up is the Rapti. He's one of the startup who has made electric. He become an electric OEM, electric vehicle two-wheeler OEM.
Wow.
Just 3 years before, he came with a design, and then of building a two-wheeler, electric two-wheeler. And then we have believed in his concept. And I come from mobility industry, so I
Yeah.
believe in that concept. So we gave 35 lakh seed fund under our startup India seed fund scheme, Ministry of Commerce Industry. And within 6 months, he's able to develop a prototype. He came and shown a prototype in our demo day. We're able to raise fund of 2.5 crores in that demo day with the investor connecting them. Now, this company, the long story short, this company has now raised 50 crore, and he
Wow.
has put up a big factory in Poonamali, and then he has 200 people, and then he has got an approval from it to run the vehicle on the road, and then the vehicle is already launched. But
Fabulous.
yeah, what I see is that the ability of that founder, Mr. Dinesh Arjun, of doing everything in a very frugal way, with a humility, with he himself does everything, and then he hired a lot of senior people from the automotive industry, but he give them very respectful positions and get their buy-in, and then he become a part of. He never looked like he's the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
He's always on the shop floor with the young kids, design team. When you go inside the factory, you will think that he's as if another employee of the company.
Mm. Mm.
So I think this is what I feel in the great leadership culture
Super.
our Indian startup world has brought it.
I just loved that, Dr. Parvez. And, the fact that that frugality, which is there within the DNA, which you so
Yeah.
nicely described, I think, we see that in a lot of very, very successful scaled up companies.
Yeah.
It's not only at the startup stage, even when they are growing, they've become 100 crore, 500 crore turnover companies. They really maintain that DNA, which you said.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very Indian thing. Just like we speak about jugaad innovation, and we say that that's a very typical Indian style. This was great. My next question is this. I mean, startups, especially those that are really struggling for that first big break, they face tons of challenges. And, that sense of constantly battling against one problem or the other, that must definitely be impacting their culture, right? So when the leader faces the challenge, when the leader, actually shares these challenges to the team, even if it's a small team, 10-member, 15-member team, the culture of the company will kind of change because of the challenge, right? Have you ever, seen a company that took up this kind of a challenge and then turned it around using a very innovative approach?
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the, I have a example that from the top of my mind is that a company called Acadicel, who is working on developing novel technologies using stem cells. So when the company came, they were saying, sir, we are going to deploy an incubator. But the moment I say stem cell, they're not even allowing me inside the campus because they are afraid about this technology because this is new thing. And it's, you should, people, even when I was talking to one of the biotech professor here, they said, no, don't allow anybody inside using the stem cell and so on. So I was just wondering, like, see, stem cell will be is it like a boon or ban? Like, I see that it's a
Yeah.
boon. And then why should we not, promote this? So I, discussed it thoroughly with him. And then, in fact, we allowed him to set up a world-class clean room facility here, which we call 10,000 plus clean room, where they developed the stem cell thing. I'm very glad to say now he has developed a lot of technologies like for diabetic ulcer, foot ulcer, and then he has developed now solutions. And then for wound healing patches. So all the using the stem cell technologies. Now his product is in the market, and then even people from UAE and all coming and approaching him. And then so while everyone looked this as like a great regulatory challenge, or
Okay.
I won't say even regulatory challenge, because he was following through a formal
True.
clinical trial process in the hospitals and all. We can't skip the process. Fortunately, the thing, but
Yeah.
it's an mindset of whether we can able to accept the technology, even at the scientist level. Even the people who are specialized in life sciences, they are not able to accept the initial stage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it was in fact, if we would have keep on discounting him, we would have lost great technology for the country,
Wow.
right? I think this was one of the great barrier, which has turned out into a very positive impact. And then, I feel that that's a great startup to say about how challenge overcome, become a positive impact on the culture.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, full credit to you and your leadership for having, taken that bias which is there in the minds of
Right.
people, to say that, we shouldn't allow this bias to
Yeah,
derail the growth of what could possibly be a big breakthrough success. So
exactly.
that's really wonderful to hear. See, the other thing about startups is that, and you mentioned the whole point of frugality. You
Yeah,
spoke about, doing things at low cost. And one of the big things that companies have to do is to manage their people. So it starts off with hiring, it starts off with onboarding, it starts off with training, skilling, mentoring, right all the way till, their exit.
yeah,
Now, if you're a large company and you have lots of funds and budget and all that, you can afford to have a full-fledged Pakka HR department and you can do all that. But for startups, today we are seeing that too with the advent of AI, technology has become a big friend.
yeah,
Technology is able to help them to create departments, full departments, which
yeah.
previously you needed people. Today, technology is doing all that work. Any such stories or examples where, any of the startups mentored by you, Dr. Parvez, has used technology like this, especially for a culture purpose?
Yeah. So, in fact, one of the startup came and approached us. In fact, they solved our problem. Like we have at some point in time, we have 200 startups. We don't
Okay.
know. We need to monitor them. We need to track them.
Hmm.
We are working with 10 different ministries, right?
True.
And then, so we said that, how do we going to work with them? So one of our startup called Redwood Partners. So they came and told us that, we will develop a solution for you where you can monitor 200 startups, progress in a
Mm-hmm.
dashboard. So this technology was developed in-house by them. And
Mm-hmm.
then we adopted this technology, and it's just a moment you will get all the detailed progress,
Lovely.
what's
Okay.
happening. It's a health card of the entire thing, what's happening. As you rightly said, if I would have put appointed people, I would to hire 200 people for monitoring the 200 startups. So
Yeah.
that made life easy. As you rightly said, with the advent of AI and thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
productivity has gone very, very high.
Super, super, excellent. That's a great example. Um, Also, just want to kind of ask you, managing 200 startups, and you were just talking about how if you had to have 200 people to manage each of those startups, you would be building one big empire of a lot of people. Um, I'm sure there are some very interesting team building exercises, where you have been able to probably bring together, teams within the startups in a very effective way and actually help build their culture. Any such examples or any experiences like that, Dr. Parvez?
Yeah. So as I said, I was just in transformed person from corporate to academic, right? That itself
Yeah.
challenging. I said I came to it. So one thing I learned in my corporate, and then which I tried to inculcate in what I was doing in Crescent, is that entrepreneurship, right? So you
Nice.
have to have a culture of entrepreneurship in your day-to-day work, right? And then here you are not like startup, somebody is investing and somebody is monitoring and things like that. Here, everyone should act like not like an employee, and they should act like an entrepreneur. So they should own, like, that's where the ownership comes in. So they
True.
feel that, this is my project, I am the founder, and then that's how I have built in. So in fact, I have grown up in UCAL, fortunately, thanks to the CMD, Dr. Krishnamurthy, who was developing like a kind of like an entrepreneur, where we will take every greenfield project and run it like a P&L and then grow it. So we never work for salary, we work for satisfaction. So
I could imagine that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I brought that same, culture and built the team. So if you see our team, very diverse background, but with the same entrepreneur mindset.
Wonderful. Excellent. Entrepreneurship actually not just, creates a sense of satisfaction, as you said, for the people. I think it also really brings out innovation in a way never seen before.
Yeah.
I think entrepreneurs create some amazing success and wins for the company, which it's very difficult if it were done in a very, staid and very boxed in kind of a orientation. So this is
Right.
fabulous. Influencing 200 startups and more. I mean, 200 was a time ago. Now you're, every day there is so much going on at the Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council. Is there any ritual or anything that you do which you've repeatedly done, which probably has become a ritual within the startups, or it has kind of created a very interesting, different, moment of truth for them? Any such ritual, Dr. Parvez?
Yeah. So for me, like, if you come to my room, I have placed a statement of Mahatma Gandhi, which says, customer is the important person for us.
Absolutely. He's not the
Right?
interruption.
Interruption. So in that statement, I have put in the bracket customer, I put startups. So I keep telling our employees, startups are customers. We need to listen the voice of the customers. But the problem is, in corporate, we say customers will become sometimes customers, right? So
True. Yes.
because how do we listen their custom? Like, how do you listen their pains, right?
True.
And so we have to find a mechanism. So we found two things, a ritual to follow. One is that we do a town hall meeting. So quarterly town
Means.
hall meeting, where we call all the 200 startups. We just get
Wow.
there. Yeah. In fact, we have also a Zoho ticketing system, where in between they can go and raise tickets and request their concerns and any requests and grievances. But in town hall is the place where all the 200 startups get together quarterly once, where we will understand each other and network. Plus, they raise some points which will be echoed by others. So that is one ritual we follow. And another ritual we follow is also that, sometimes we have an Indian tendency not to open up at the public. So we need to have one-on-one. So I will have a quarterly once one-on-one meeting with the startup. So I talk to them, I listen their views and concerns and then grievances. Maybe these two ritual maybe would have been indirectly impacted our growth. And then we had a very good retention factor of people staying with us and then, growing along with this and so on.
Very nice. Thank you. I think the town hall for the 200 startups is a really lovely thing, because it means that, first of all, irrespective of their size, scale, of their journey, of their age, they all come together because of their bonding with Crescent. So
Yeah.
I think that would be a fantastic thing. And maybe, they have the same kind of town halls within their organizations,
Yeah.
because they've learned from you as to how to do it.
Right.
My last final question for this podcast. Many startups, today I'm sure would be led by millennials, Gen Zs, I don't know, maybe even Gen Alphas at some point of time. I wanted to ask you, have you seen any quirky or very different sort of practices, cultural practices, which, you have seen that has actually helped the startup navigate chaos or any kind of challenges?
Yeah, one such example I can say is one of a startup called Solid Pro, where just two founders just came out of the corporate, and then they said we want to just we experienced professionals, 20 plus years of experience. They just came out of the corporate culture. They said that let's form a company and then offer the type of engineering services that too to clients abroad. So very unstructured. They just come and occupied in just a 100 square feet room, very unorganized, but wanted to serve the clients of international standard. And then, but we gave some 15 lakhs rupees initial seed fund for them to grow. But what I learned over a period of time is that they matured, and then with the quirky culture, we said, but that made them more, stabilized. And then, in fact, today you won't believe they have a 200 people with a
Wow.
25 crore turnover, and then they keep growing big. And then all the clients are now their international clients. And
Superb.
yeah, so which they have able to demonstrate that of international standard with a startup culture, which is more unorganized to an organized state.
Super. Oh, Dr. Parvez, this has been such a different and such an eye-opening conversation. I mean, we usually have, corporate leaders and people from the culture that you spoke about, your previous culture. From there, we get a lot of people who have shared, very honestly their perspectives on this platform. But what you shared just now, being an incubator and having actually shaped cultures for over 200 companies, has been something very special for us. So, once again, from all of us here at Avtar, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing everything that you did in a very humble and grounded manner. I'm sure there's a lot that our audience will take away from this podcast. So, thank you so much. And here's wishing you and the Crescent Incubation and Innovation Council much success and lots more of startups who you influence. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Avatar and CII, and as well, especially to Dr. Saundarya and team. I also want to acknowledge, our chairman, Mr. Abdul Qadir, and our university management and board of directors, advisors, who are themselves are entrepreneurs and investors. In fact, they help me to shape up this whole culture. We say that new change will happen from the top management. So
True.
I'm able to demonstrate this whole change culture change. I'm a change agent, and then I was doing a cultural change here. That was only because of our, the board, which I have given me a full freedom to do this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're going to be continuing to doing them proud for
Yeah.
having invested this responsibility in you. And folks who are all listening in, I'm sure you would have taken away a lot of great insights from this conversation with Dr. Parvez Alam, Executive Director of CIIC and AIC, in our series of Culture Café. Till next time, bye-bye.